Evening, all student. Once again, today is my class. UPSC aspirant, NCERT history 6 to 12th, English medium student. Before starting today's class, I remind you in the last class, chapter 2. So, today's class, chapter 3. So, let's go ahead. From gathering to growing food. Nenvo was eating her favorite food, boiled rice, squash, pumpkin, beans, and meat. Squash means sarbat, mitharas. Her grandmother had grown the squash, pumpkin, and beans in the little garden plot at the back of her house. She remembered the food had been so different when she had been to Madhya Pradesh as part of a school trip. It was hot and spicy. Why was that so? So next topic, varieties foods. Today's most of our food such as fruits, vegetables, grain, milk and meat comes from plants that we grow and animals that are reared. Different plants grow and animals that are different plants grow in different conditions. Rice, for example, requires more water than wheat and barley. This explain why farmers grow some crops in some areas and not in other areas. Different animals too prefer different environments. For instance, sheep and goat can survive more easily than cattle and in dry, hilly environments, but as you saw in chapter 2, women and men did not always produce their own food. Next topic, the beginning of farming and herding. We have seen in chapter 2 that the climate of the world was changing, and so were plants and animals that people use as food. Men, women, and children probably observed several things. The places where edible plants were found, and new plants, how seeds broke off a stalk, fell on the ground, and new plants sprouted means ankurit. From them, perhaps they began looking after plants, protecting them from birds and animals too, that they could grow and the seeds could ripen. In this way, people become farmers. Women, men, and children could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelters. The first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gentle to come near the camp where they lived. These animals, such as sheep, goat, cattle, and also the pig, lived in herd, and most of them ate grass. Often, people protected these animals from attacks by other wild animals. This is how they become herders. So, can you think of any reasons why the dog was perhaps the first animal to be tamed? Domestications is the name given to the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. Very often, plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plants and animals. This is because people select plants and animals from domestications. For example, they select those plants and animals that are not prone to disease. They also select plants that yield large size grain and have a strong stalks capable of bearing the weight of the reap. Grain seeds from selected plants are preserved and sown to ensure that new plants and seeds will have the same qualities. Almost animals, those that are relatively gentle, are selected from breeding. Breeding means prajanan. As a result, gradually domestications, animals and plants become different from wild animal and plants. For example, the teeth and horns of wild animals are usually much larger than those of domesticated animals. So look at those two sets of teeth. Which do you think belong to a wild pig and which to a domesticated animals? Domesticated was a gradually process that took place in many parts of the world. It began about 12,000 years ago. Virtually all the plant and animals produced that we use as food today is a result of domestication. Some of the earliest plants to be domesticated were wheat and barley. The earliest domesticated animals include sheep and goats. So look at this picture. Look at this picture, two teeth. Look at these two sets of teeth. Which do you think belongs to a wild pig and which to a domesticated animal? For two teeth. Look at this picture. Two teeth. Wild pig. So look at this picture. So that's enough today's class. I meet you next class, next in the with the next chapter. Till then, bye bye.